Welcome back to the channel, team. I hope you're doing fantastic, guys. And in this video, I'm going to give you a practical account of why I love owning my BMW E38. Let's go. Number one, reliability. Yes, I said it. If you don't go out and buy the E38 that has had 1 million previous owners plus no Carfax history, if you don't buy the E38 that's been slammed on cut springs, hell, if you don't buy the E38 that has had the halo upgrade on the headlights with the ridiculously oversized subwoofer taking up the entire trunk space, then there is no reason why this car wouldn't be as reliable as, say, a 5 Series or perhaps even a 3 Series. I've taken my E38 in multiple long road trips, the longest from LA all the way to Utah, and the car never gave me any problems. It actually performed admirable. It is a great open road cruiser, but you need to understand that as these cars age, they need some love and some money. Yes, the parts may be expensive, but again, if you buy quality parts, they wouldn't be any more expensive than any other part on any other car. Out of the big three, BMW, Mercedes, and Audi, BMWs are by far the most reliable. And I would even dare say that with the proper amount of maintenance and love, this car can be just as reliable as a Jetta or a Passat. Number two, its looks. With its square proportions, a strong front chin, and an amazing ass, this car is a looker. This car has just the right amount of retro and contemporary styling to keep it grounded yet fresh. It doesn't really look old or out of place rolling around in Hollywood. I love the looks of this car. And I gotta say that one of the best things about it is the way that it all comes together. The headlights on this car are amazing. I just love how they fill in perfectly the front of the car. They're not ostentatious, they're not out of place. They are just the right amount of there. The projectors, the bottom of the headlight design where it looks like it's being cupped in place. This is its home and it's perfect. The front profile of this car always gets me with the nice line that is only obscured by the bulging of the fender well. I love the proportions between the lip, the bumper, and the fender. It is not overly big just for the sake of being big. Your side indicator, it is small yet purposeful. Everything has a place, and because of that, it makes the wheels seem perfectly sized to this car. Following an E38 7 Series is just a great treat. You get treated to a business-like rear end, not a lot of lines and jagged edges to distract you. You know it's a business car, but you know it also means business, because when you look at the tires, you realize that it needs all that traction to power all of that German steel in a quick yet unassuming way. Number three, the torque. This car will definitely snap your head back if you ask it to. Now, I'm not saying that it's an obscene amount of torque by any stretch of the imagination, especially with today's standards, but with its 324 foot-pounds, it gradually, progressively crescendos to its highest point of intensity with the most satisfying feel. The torquey engine allows you to pass cars effortlessly on the freeway. It definitely feels like it wants to punch above its weight class. And this car actually reduces the seriousness of speed like no other car. 145 miles an hour feels like you're doing 90. It's a dangerous game that we love to play. Solid, poised, yet capable and understated. Number 4, safety. Nowadays, cars are made from exotic materials like plastics, reinforced carbon fiber, aluminum, 2mm thick glass, and that's all fantastic. I'm all for that. That is until you get hit at 50 miles an hour. And that's exactly what happened to me. Now, I'm not here to go into that story. If you want to find out more about that, you can click on the linked video above. But I will say that growing up for most of my life, I've never cared about safety. I've never based my purchase decision on any of my cars on safety. Now, as I'm getting older and things change, safety has become part of the equation, especially since I'm about to have a kid. If you've been following the channel, you know that because I made a video on that. And with that in mind, I don't think that there's any other car, at least this old, that I would trust my child to be in. Definitely newer cars improve on the side airbags. They improve on front passenger airbags, rear airbags, crumple zones, and again, like I said, materials. And that is not something that I'm debating, but I am saying this car, for how old it is, a 2001, has a lot of those features that make me a little bit more at ease when I'm on the road, especially with the precious cargo that I'm about to have in the back. Things in my life are changing, and I think there's a time and a place for everything, and there will definitely always be a time and a place in my life for a sports car, for a build, for a raggedy, dangerous car that I still find fun, for a lightweight, under 2,500 pound car where you can use the entire speedo, not like today's cars, something nimble and tossable. But if I'm driving around with a family, I love the E38 for all of the safety features that not only it helped pioneer, but that it's become known for. Yes, this car is great to look at. It has great styling, great torque, horsepower, it's comfortable, but none of that matters if you don't feel safe driving it. And for that, number 4, safety is one of my most favorite features of this car. Number 5, the creature comforts. If you're gonna go all in a comfy executive car, then you have to get it fully loaded. This car has so many features that I didn't even know about at the beginning that I'm still feel like I'm finding new features once in a while or finding different ways of using them. Now, it's not like they're just chucked in there with no purpose. It's not like an iDrive system that's overly complicated. No, everything feels still very analog. This was a time in BMW's history when things still had a purpose. Things were built for the purpose that they were built for. And everything in here feels like it's needed instead of just an afterthought. From the self-leveling bi-xenons, to the parking sensors, the rain sensing wipers, to the perhaps gimmicky rear shade that goes up to give the rear passengers just a little bit of comfort on a very sunny, hot day. But even that is done in a very classy way. It's not ostentatious, and it just rolls out of the way when you don't need it. Everything in this car makes you feel like the event that is driving the car, that is the most important thing that's going on. You don't have to worry about your heated seats. You don't have to worry about sport mode if you don't want it. You don't have to worry about anything else. The car will take care of it for you. But if you like to set up your memory seat, if you like to set up other little features like that just the way you want them, yes, you could spend the time and play around with them. I like the car for being useful, being full of technology in a very useful way. And this is right before BMW went off the rails with their tech. Now they just throw tech on a car just to have it in a car. I'm sorry, but I didn't know that I needed my finger movement to turn down my radio. I don't know how I ever lived without that, because this, it's been burdening my life since I started driving. You get all of that nice early 2000 tech that, yes, most of it could be broken depending on the car that you get, but at the same time, it's not that difficult to diagnose and to fix. You don't need to go to the dealership every single time because you have no idea which port to plug in because there are no ports. There's even no buttons. Everything is just a screen now, and it's very difficult to figure out a computer. The BMW E38. I love the useful tech with a purpose. Thank you so much for checking out my video. If you like this kind of videos, please stay tuned, subscribe, share it with a friend, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to give it a like. I will see you on the next video. Until then, be good to each other. Peace.